It started before the cameras even rolled. Meghan walked out with grace, a navy blouse catching the lights. Her smile was steady, but there was weight behind her eyes. She took her seat across from Sunny Hostin. The table between them felt smaller than usual. Whoopi, welcome back to The View. We have a very special guest. Today Meghan Markle is here. Applause. But there was a tension no one could name. Sunny, so Meghan, you stepped away from royalty for peace, but you're more public than ever. Is that ironic? Meghan, I didn't leave the spotlight. I left the abuse. There's a difference. The air shifted. Whoopi smiled nervously. Joy sipped her coffee. Sunny. But now you're using that same spotlight. Isn't it fair to ask why now? Meghan, it's never the right time to talk about trauma, but silence was worse. Sunny, millions of women suffer, without Netflix deals, without podcasts. You're not one of them anymore. Meghan, I never claimed to be, but I still carry what happened. It doesn't leave when the cameras turn off. Laughter from the audience faded. A few people murmured, Sunny, you've been accused of using race to shield yourself from criticism. Meghan's face held still, but her voice lowered. Meghan, when a black woman defends herself, it's called a weapon. When she stays quiet, it's called obedience. Pick one. Whoopi, let's just keep it light today, huh? No one responded. Sunny, you left the palace but not the platform. You say it's about truth, but it looks like branding. Meghan, the truth isn't something you license. It's something you survive. The audience was still. Sunny leaned forward. Her tone got sharper. Sunny, you speak about mental health, but royal staff said you made them cry. Meghan didn't blink. Meghan, I cried alone in a palace where help was a scandal. I smiled for the world while I broke in private. A pause. Meghan, I wanted to die. They said it would be worse for the crown if I got help, so I didn't. Gasps. Sunny leaned back. Meghan's voice trembled. Meghan, I don't expect you to understand. I just expect you not to question my survival. Whoopi, we'll be right back. Meghan, no, let's not. Silence. Meghan looked directly into the camera. Meghan, if speaking costs me favor, so be it. But I'm done smiling through silence. She stood up. Joy, we going to break. Producers walked onto the set. A quiet whisper. A nod. Meghan walked off stage without another word. Sunny didn't look up. The studio didn't clap. And online, the storm had already started. The clip hit Twitter before Meghan left the building. In less than an hour, #Meghan via Sunny was trending #1 worldwide. Headlines spun fast. Talk show showdown, Markle meltdown, or media smackdown. Everyone had a take. No one knew the truth. Inside ABC headquarters, executives argued behind closed doors. PR teams scrambled. Whoopi sat in her dressing room. Quiet. Joy walked in, holding her phone. Joy, it's everywhere. They're calling it the royal flameout. Whoopi, they're calling Sunny a bully. Joy, and Meghan a liar. Silence. Whoopi, this isn't what the show's supposed to be. Across town, Meghan sat in the back of a black SUV. No cameras. No glam. Just her and her phone. She scrolled slowly, each comment cutting deeper. She weaponizes pain. She plays victim again. Sunny was right to call her out. Harry texted, "Come home, I'll cancel everything." Meghan replied, "No, I'm not hiding." Meanwhile, Sunny sat alone in her office. Her producer knocked. Producer, you good, Sunny? I asked questions. She didn't like the answers. Producer, yeah, but people think you came for her. Sunny, I came for the truth. Producer, they think you came with an axe. Sunny, I came with a mirror. The next morning, Meghan released a statement. Truth-telling is not always graceful, but it is necessary. The backlash doubled. News anchors dissected every sentence. On CNN, was Meghan manipulated again, or is she manipulating us? On Fox, Sunny Hostin stood her ground. That's journalism. At The View, security was increased. Whoopi walked in early. The team looked nervous. Producer, we need to address yesterday. Cleanly. Whoopi, no spin. Producer, spin is all we have. They went live at 11. Whoopi, yesterday's conversation with Meghan Markle was difficult and emotional, but we don't run from tough conversations. Joy, we all saw it. We all felt it. Sunny and I stand by my questions. Tense silence. Sarah N shifted uncomfortably in her seat. Sarah, but did we give her space to answer them? Sunny looked at her. Sunny, she had a platform. She chose pain over accountability. Whoopi, and you chose confrontation over compassion. The air got heavy again. Online, Meghan's supporters fought back. One tweet went viral. A black woman spoke her trauma. Another black woman doubted her. That's what made it burn. Sunny read it twice. Her inbox filled with threats and praise and confusion. A young producer knocked again. Producer, we're getting calls from advertisers. Sunny, let me guess. Pulling out, he nodded. Across the ocean. The British tabloids rejoiced. Daily Mail. Meghan implodes on live TV. The Crown was right. Sun. No grace. No dignity. Meghan shamed again. The palace issued no comment. Harry called. Harry, let's go to Botswana. Quiet. No press. Meghan, I can't run. Harry. Harry, you're not running. You're bleeding. She didn't answer. Sunny sat at her kitchen table that night. Her son beside her. He looked up. Son. Mum, why does everyone hate you today? Sunny froze. Sunny, sometimes telling the truth makes people angry, but it doesn't mean it was wrong. Son, but what if her truth was real too? Sunny looked away. Her husband walked in, placed a hand on her shoulder. Husband, you okay, Sunny? No, but I'm sure. Backstage, Whoopi made a decision. She texted Meghan, come back, speak your whole piece, no interruptions. Meghan didn't reply. The views ratings skyrocketed. Clips replayed endlessly. Analysts dissected body language, eye twitches, micro expressions. But somewhere in California, Meghan stood in her garden, barefoot, watching her son chase butterflies. She smiled, then cried. Not because of Sunny, but because it never seemed to end. That night, Oprah called. Oprah, I saw the whole thing. You want to talk, Meghan? Only if it's not about the show. Oprah, then let's talk about healing. Meghan, I don't know how anymore. Across the country, Sunny opened her email. One message stood out. You asked the hard questions. You didn't flinch. Thank you. Another one right after. You humiliated a trauma survivor for clout. Disgusting. She closed the laptop. Her husband entered the room, holding 2 glasses of wine. Husband, you didn't ask those questions for clout. Sunny, I asked them for clarity. Husband, did you get it? Sunny didn't answer. Whoopi sat at her desk alone, late at night. She played the episode again. She watched Meghan's face. Then Sunny's. Then paused. She whispered to herself. Whoopi, we don't need to win every argument. Sometimes we just need to listen. Next morning, ABC issued a neutral statement. We support diverse conversations and honest moments. Our hosts are individuals, not mouthpieces. It satisfied no one. Behind the scenes, Meghan typed a message to Sunny, then deleted it, then typed again. I didn't expect agreement, just empathy. She didn't send it. The world had already made up its mind. Some said Meghan was a hero. Some said she was manipulative. Some said Sunny was brave. Others called her cruel. The truth, it got lost between headlines. 2 women, 1 moment, millions of opinions. But no one knew what it had cost them. Not really. 3 days after the broadcast, Meghan returned. No announcement, no trailer, no promotion, just silence, until she walked back onto the same stage. Cameras on, lights hot, chairs rearranged. This time, no audience. Only the hosts. Whoopi, she's here, by choice, and we're listening. Meghan sat, shoulders squared. Black blazer, no jewelry, no makeup. Joy, why come back? Meghan, because silence lets the wrong people speak for you. Sunny sat across from her. No notes this time, just her hands, folded in her lap. Sunny, you felt attacked. Meghan, I felt judged before I finished speaking. Sunny, did you come to finish it now? Meghan looked at her. Meghan, I came to finish hiding. A pause. Meghan, you asked about responsibility. Here it is. Yes, I've made mistakes. Yes, I've been privileged. Yes, I've been afraid. Sunny, and Meghan. And I've also been suicidal in a palace full of polished silence. Joy lowered her eyes. Whoopi sat still. Sarah blinked fast. Sunny didn't move. Meghan, you think I weaponized my pain. But my pain was used against me before I ever spoke. Sunny, and I don't doubt that. But some of us needed you to speak for more than yourself. Meghan, I tried. But you wanted a saint, not a woman. Silence. Sunny, I wanted honesty, without branding. Meghan, and I wanted space. Without suspicion. Their voices got softer. Meghan, I didn't need applause. I needed someone to say, I believe you. without reading a press release first. Sunny leaned in. Sunny, then say, the part you didn't say, Meghan. What part, Sunny? The part where you admit you left others behind. That you ran while the rest of us had to keep fighting from inside the system. Meghan inhaled. Meghan, I didn't run. I survived. And sometimes, surviving looks like running. Joy, you both have truth. Maybe neither of you has the full one. Sarah, what happens when two truths collide? Whoopi, they burn. No one laughed. Sunny, I lost friends over that episode. Meghan, I lost peace. Sunny, I was called every name. Sellout, hater, jealous. Meghan, I was called a liar, a manipulator. Again, a pause. Meghan, I don't hate you. Sunny, I don't trust you, Meghan. I can live with that. Their eyes locked. No rage, no resentment. Just weariness. Meghan, I'm not your symbol. And you're not my villain. Sunny, then what are we? Meghan, women, on fire, in public. While men sit back and watch. No one said anything. Then Meghan turned to the camera. Meghan, to every person watching, don't wait for permission to heal, or to speak, or to be messy. You're allowed to survive ugly. Whoopi finally nodded. Whoopi, that's the view. Unfiltered. Cut to black. But it wasn't over. Online. The reactions were immediate. You could feel the pain in the silence. This was the realest moment daytime TV has ever had. She didn't apologize. She explained, that's power. But not everyone was moved. She deflected again. She made it all about her. She still never answered Sunny's question. On a private group chat, Sunny sat with her co-hosts. Sarah, that was heavy. Joy, too heavy for daytime. Whoopi, maybe just heavy enough. Sunny, did we do the right thing? Whoopi, we did the real thing. Elsewhere, Meghan sat alone with her laptop. She watched the playback, paused it, then closed it. Harry entered the room quietly. Harry, how do you feel? Meghan, tired, but not sorry. He kissed her forehead. Harry, then it was worth it. Sunny walked home that night under street lamps. A car slowed beside her, then sped off. She flinched. The cost was real, but so was the clarity. She whispered to herself, Sunny, women shouldn't have to bleed for their truth to matter. That night, both women slept for the first time in days. Not peacefully, but finally. 3 weeks passed. The clip stopped trending. The memes faded, but something stayed. A shift. Meghan turned down all interview requests. No podcasts, no op-eds, nothing. She planted roses in her backyard, woke up early, read books again. One morning, she picked up her phone and typed, I forgive you, then deleted it. Sunny went back to work. But something had changed. She stopped bringing notes. She listened more. One day, she looked at the camera and said, Sunny, we talk for a living. But sometimes, the hardest thing is to just shut up and feel what someone else is saying. The crew didn't clap, but they nodded. On a warm Thursday morning, an envelope arrived at Meghan's gate. No name, just a handwritten note inside. I didn't believe your pain because I hadn't faced my own. I see it now. And I see you. No signature. She read it 3 times, then placed it in her drawer. That night, she rocked her daughter to sleep. She whispered, Meghan, you don't have to explain your softness to anyone. In New York, Sunny attended a panel on women in journalism. A young intern stood up during Q&A. Intern, what happens when your truth hurts someone else's? Sunny paused. Sunny, then you sit with it. You don't run from it. You learn where yours ends, and theirs begins. After the panel, she checked her phone. A message from Whoopi. Lunch, she replied, only if it comes with a margarita. They laughed. Somewhere far from cameras and headlines, Meghan walked on a beach. The sky was pink, the ocean quiet. A little girl ran up to her. Girl, my mom says you're brave. Meghan knelt down. Meghan, tell your mum I'm just trying. The girl nodded and ran off. Meghan smiled. For real this time. In the background, someone took a photo. It never went viral. And that was okay. On set, Sunny looked out at the audience. Their faces expectant. Curious. She leaned into her mic. Sunny, I used to think truth was about control, about holding people accountable. But sometimes, it's about letting go. Whoopi gave her a small nod. Joy smiled. Sarah whispered, Sarah, growth looks good on you. That night, Meghan wrote in her journal. Just one sentence. I am not what they call my am, what I survive. No press release. No retweet. Just ink on paper. The world moved on. But the women didn't forget. They never would. And maybe that was enough. Maybe that was the healing. Tools.